Okay, so I hate introducing myself, but I'll give it a go. So, hi guys, my name is Ayla Adnan. I'm a 23-year-old digital content creator. I just love picking up the phone, talking, and posting that. And I posted my first YouTube vlog on the 14th of April. If you can't apply what you study, there's no part of getting a degree. So I started something on Sundays called Barefaced Sundays, where everyone would kind of post a barefaced selfie. I got rejected, and for me, my life stopped for 2 days. There were setbacks in terms of, am I posting enough content? Am I diversifying into different streams of income?
What do you think is your advice for someone who's going to get into the space now?
Practice. Just post it and see how it goes.
Hi, Ayla.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here and
Thank
for
you
doing
so
this
much
for
for
us.
having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Of course. Can you just tell a little bit about yourself so we can get ahead and get to the details?
Okay, so I hate introducing myself, but I'll give it a go. So, hi guys, my name is Ayla Adnan. I'm a 23-year-old digital content creator. I have been doing this for 5 years in Pakistan, and then I've expanded into the GCC as well. I have studied fashion marketing, and then I did my
cool.
A-levels from Lyceum. I did my O-levels from Links. I can't believe I forgot my school. But yeah, I think I'm an amalgamation of a digital content creator. I've studied fashion marketing, so marketing is something separately I'm pursuing on the side. Direction, all these fun little elements also within content creation. So all of that.
All right, that's so
Yeah.
cool. All right, so now that we've talked about content creation, can you just take us back to your very first post or very first video? What was that like?
It's crazy how you asked me, because I started very randomly in COVID.
Okay.
I was just really bored. I think we all were at home.
Yeah.
And I was tired of Netflix. And I'm like, I've always wanted to kind of do something with content. I've always been really comfortable in front of the camera. But then I was just personal setbacks, and you just put personal insecurities in your
Yeah.
head, kaun dekhega? Is
Exactly.
it worth my time? Should I do it? So I just let all of that go because there was nothing to do in COVID. I started
Yeah.
making TikToks and YouTube videos and
Oh,
Instagram
cool.
videos, and I posted my first YouTube vlog on the 14th of April.
Oh.
So technically this
It
year
is-
marks the 5-year anniversary,
Oh,
and that
wow.
was just a vlog at home.
Okay.
And my content has remained the same. I believe I've just loved picking up the phone, talking, and
Yeah.
posting that. I can't add more to it, but
Yeah.
that's just the way I like to go about it.
Oh, that's very cool. So you touched upon getting a degree in fashion and then getting into this. So how do you think that your degree sort of helped you, or do you think it didn't, or in what ways?
It's so funny you asked me, because I was someone who grew up doing international debates in MUN. So my entire career trajectory was more towards international relations and politics. And that's
Okay.
what that's where I got into for schools in the UK. So
Okay.
for example, I got into the King's for IR, but I wanted to go to Sciences Po in France.
Okay.
So the acceptance rate was very, very low. I got rejected, and for me, my life stopped for 2 days. And for me, my entire world stopped for 2 days, because when you set a goal from a very young age and you don't achieve it, you obviously have a personal setback. Then I reassessed. I was already doing content. I loved marketing. Creativity was something that came naturally to me. So I started looking into degrees of digital marketing.
Okay.
Now, digital marketing, again, is a very specialized thing. So I
Yeah.
found my school, IFA Paris, which is International Fashion Academy in Paris. And I
Okay.
started doing fashion marketing from there.
All right, that's very cool.
Yeah,
And I
alhamdulillah.
feel I'm sure you loved Paris and just being
I
there
did
and
it
then-
online. So that was
Okay.
the beauty of my degree.
Oh, wow,
My
okay.
university offered it online as well. So for me, I was already working full time, and I funded my education myself, alhamdulillah.
mashallah.
So I just thought that you can study from wherever. I think there's this
100%.
एक साइकोलॉजिकल थिंग भी होती है हमारे पाकिस्तानी पेरेंट्स में भी कि नहीं बाहर जाओ
Yeah.
बाहर जाओ and you just have to look at the geopolitical conditions also, and the world was still in COVID and things were exuberantly expensive. So I'm
100%.
you know what, I'll study from wherever I am. I'll apply that to my work, and then I'll see the results
And I
of
feel
that.
distance learning is the next big thing.
It really
just
is.
the physically being in spaces and all of that is just going to be a thing of the past, and that's going to happen super soon.
I think multitasking now is also the biggest thing I've seen in this Gen Z generation
Yeah.
that I belong to. We can't be putting out 10 to 12 hours daily for schooling.
100%.
I feel like everyone is now becoming young entrepreneurs. You have so many small business opportunities happening for people of any age. And
Yeah.
in order to make it in life, I still believe you need real life set skills
Yeah.
rather than just academia and books. Because at the end of the day, if you can't apply what you study, there's no part of
There's no
getting a
point.
degree.
Yeah, that's true. So, when you started, was there something that you wish you knew, or like, that you were like, oh, I wish someone told me this when I
Yeah.
actually started? Like,
I think for me, I've always been a very hyper independent person. Like, I'm the only child. So I've always had the
Okay.
freedom to really do what I want. But there were setbacks in terms of, am I posting enough content? Am I diversifying into different streams of income? Product diversification, going into like different areas of digital marketing. I still believe like there's so much to learn. I've
Yeah.
never had like a management or an agency. So I've done
Okay.
it all A to Z
Oh,
myself.
wow.
Maybe because I'm a little finicky and I don't let people take control of what I do.
Yeah.
But I just never found someone with the right set skills in order
Yeah.
to educate me. I was learning so much through just watching Instagram reels and
Mhm.
like TikToks and YouTubes. I found individuals who were making content to give me a lot more education than anyone I could have hired in a team, for example.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
So now that you've said that, what are some things now that you've, mashallah, established yourself and you're a content creator and we love you? What are some things that you would want to tell someone who's looking to get into this space or like, get into this industry?
So सबसे पहले I think एक vanity relatedness आती है in this field. I tell everyone like forget there's a camera in front of you
Yeah.
because if you stiffen up, the audience can feel that there is a disconnect.
Okay.
So the more natural you are, and I mean like literally talk to yourself in the mirror. You want to go into content which has your face in it. I mean UGC content creation, faceless content is also really big. But if you're someone who's determined that no, I want to be in front of the camera, practice. Just post it and see how it goes. If one video doesn't work, change the narrative. There's so many tools. I love using ChatGPT for just organizing my
We
thought
all
process
do.
and just kind of like helping put a little more structure to my thoughts, especially for content when we're making scripts and we're editing. You need a little bit of that system. So I
Okay.
believe just look at other content creators. For example, if someone wants to go into the fitness space, but you don't want to do like workout type of content,
Okay.
go into the nutrition space,
Yeah.
learn about it and then just share it with your audience. So there's so many little tips and tricks you can just pick up from the internet because there's so many resources to do so.
100% agreed. So you talked about like, putting your face out there and putting yourself out there. I feel like that's a little scary as well for
Yeah.
a lot of people. So just generally being in this space, like how do you deal with unwanted comments or like maybe like, hate in whatever sense of
Honestly,
the word?
with
or
me,
like,
I've just been so indifferent to it. I've had really random videos go viral for like
Yeah.
reasons into the wrong audience. So
Okay.
it's been, I was at a concert, I'm singing a lyric and it's caught the eye of misogynistic Pakistani men
Okay.
saying, is this the Republic of Pakistan? And also for me, these comments, I like literally hear from one ear to the other, but it's taken me a while to grow thick skin.
Okay.
I believe you have to be ready for any type of criticism as long as it's constructive. If someone is outright like bullying you, straight up block them.
Yeah.
I have hidden keywords on, so if someone's like trying to write something nasty, that comment won't even show up.
Okay.
And I think maybe not monitoring the comments is good, but for engagement purposes, you do have to respond.
Yeah.
And if someone is saying something, you just have to remember like they're seeing a version of you on the internet.
Yeah.
They don't really know you.
Okay. So I know that when you got into the content space, it was like around COVID. So things were a little different. Right now, it's a little different. So what do you think is your advice for someone who's going to get into the space now? Do you think there's opportunity there? Do you think, because like sometime everyone's like, har koi content creation kar raha hai,
Yeah.
hum bhi blogger ban jate hain. Like,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So who is this for and who is this isn't for that
I
matter?
think the beauty of content creation is it's a space that allows everyone to coexist together.
Okay.
I believe that back in COVID, there were really no barriers to entry in Pakistan. Like the blogger world, we probably knew of a couple of like women who were millennials who'd been doing it since 10 years. So they
Yeah.
went from written like journalism to blogs and then into like vlogging and all.
Yeah.
For people doing it now, because there's such an excessive list of content creators
Yeah.
out there, I think just being really sure in your ability that, okay, look, if I want to again go into that fitness example, I want to do nutrition content, stick to it, make a game plan for 3 months and be consistent. Because I feel like a lot of people pehli dafa video dalte and they're like, oh, it didn't get views, we don't want to do this anymore. It only takes consistency even for the platforms you're posting on. So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok have very different algorithms.
Yeah.
So in order to like show them that you are like a content creator who is posting consistently for your like content to even go viral,
Yeah.
you just need to be consistent and have faith in yourself. I think this is a field where people think quick results are very easy. Like, oh, hum blogger ban jayenge, हमारे पास followers आ जाएंगे, PR हो जाएगा. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
We make it believe that it's this easy, but there is a tedious process every single day, which is getting up, showing up. Even if you're having a bad day, even if you're having like anything that's going on, you need to prioritize it as your work. Because in a 9 to 5, you know, corporate में तो आपको पता है आपको सुबह जाना है और वापस शाम में घर आना है.
Yeah.
But with this, like my entire life is on social media, so I also have to curate things in a certain way that matches my audience and it adds value. Like anyone can bring out aesthetics and look good, but what are you truly adding value onto? That is the question I think people now should be asking.
All right. So Ira, if let's say I want to start making content today,
Yeah.
what should like my first step be, and how should I go about that?
Okay, so it really depends. If you want to go into the Instagram space, I really think setting out a niche. So maybe with Career Crossroads, you guys are just going to make content for essentially what you're doing. You can
Yeah.
make a plan that, okay, once a week we're going to do like a funny video and we're going to do one educational video and we're going to do one trending video. Trending video could be koi bhi aapne Instagram se trending music utha liya,
Yeah.
put it on your reel and add some value text. I really believe in showing up on Instagram. So using Instagram stories, live sessions, posting reels, using the whole platform to its maximum capacity
Yeah.
can really help make you shine from just the rest of the lot there. It's not about pictures. It's not just about videos. It's about a mix of all those
Yeah.
things. So once I feel like you start doing that, you're going to have the right audiences being pushed onto your platform. Whenever they're DMing you, answer their questions and, you know, like kind of post their testimonies. So
Yeah.
people can see that it's a collective community, because now on Instagram, people don't want celebrities or just solo content creators who aren't relatable.
Correct. Yeah.
Relatability is always going to be trending. So in any way you can make your content like niche out for
Yeah.
your target audience, that will always help you when you start content.
Thank you.
Anytime.
So you talked about relatability, and I think one of the core values with Career Crossroads was relatability, because we wanted to talk about the idea that, you know, you talk to someone who's been in your shoes and who's like sort of done the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
And we're super happy to have you on board with Career Crossroads.
I'm excited.
Can you talk a little bit more about what people can expect when they, let's say, get in touch with you through Career Crossroads or want to talk to you about, like, you know, content creation and like
Yeah.
career in that field?
So I do this a lot on my Instagram live sessions where I just
Yeah.
go live and I have a lot of different bloggers come, you know, growing bloggers, UGC bloggers in the fashion or beauty or lifestyle space. And they have questions in regards to like, Ayla, how do we get like, you know, paid on time? How do we meet the right people? How do we not get scammed? How do we properly network within this industry? And for me, like, I just say like, I wish I had that big sister for me
Yeah.
in content and I didn't. So what you can expect if you like connect with me in this regard is I will first analyze whatever you're doing, because
Okay.
I can't give answers until I know what your like goal with content is.
Correct.
Some people just want short-term virality to boost a product. Some people want to play the long-term game, and some people have no knowledge and you kind of have to like make them understand what the steps are. So firstly, like analyzing their niche, their content, kind of giving them like a game plan, like, okay, look, you're doing this video, it's working well, why don't you try a variation of it in an
Yeah.
XYZ way.
Okay.
Also kind of pushing people to do research. I believe with content, especially when you're making it not just for your masses in Pakistan, you need it to be relatable on an international level.
Yeah.
So looking at what other successful content creators are doing in your field and kind of taking inspiration and making it your own. So for example, a relatable element of my content has always been like, I'm very pro on like bare skin.
Okay.
I faced acne and I feel like so many younger girls face acne, but
Yeah.
Instagram and social media are so vanity related.
Yeah,
You will
you
see
have to
people
be
with
perfect.
you have to be perfect. People are wearing filters and you don't really get to see someone in their really like truest state, which is a no makeup day.
Yeah.
So I started something on Sundays called Bareface Sundays, where everyone
Okay.
would like kind of post a bareface selfie.
Oh, cool.
I would do it and then I encouraged a lot of my followers to do it. So we made a little broadcast channel on my Instagram where we discuss skincare related questions.
Okay.
Now this could happen in comment sections, but when you approach me through this medium, you can basically get the tips and tricks that I wish I had during these 5 years.
Oh, that's great. So I hope that people do connect, and I'm so sure that so many people want to sort of get to know a little bit more, because we've always heard हर कोई blogger बन रहा है. Let's get into vlogging.
Yeah.
You get so much free stuff coming
Yeah.
to you. Like,
these
you know,
are
things along
all
those
like,
lines.
sorry to cut you off, but these are just like, preconceived notions, and लोगों ने influencing को भी एक negative connotation दे दी है.
Agreed, yeah.
Because a lot of people have abused this field when they've come into it. Like, I know a lot of bloggers have ghosted small brands that have
Yeah.
actually needed the support of the content creation community. So I believe just being ethical and just being like a good person, regardless of whatever your occupation is the number one key step to being successful.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna like dupe people just for free things, just do it for short term, like you're not really gonna feel like a good person, and they're really gonna have like a bad business loss.
100%.
So being a good person is the first
It's
step
the
into
key
any
to,
of
I
this.
feel like, any career for
Yeah.
that matter. That's just like thing one. So I know when we talk about content creation, it's always looked upon as like a side thing. Like, you know, this is your main thing, and then you create
Yeah.
content on the side. So if someone is looking at it as a career, like, I'm sure it's a huge time commitment, and you have a better idea about that. So what do you think? Do you think this could be someone's like main thing as well?
So this has been my main thing for 5
Yeah.
years. And when people ask me like, okay, now that you're done with your university, what are you going to do? And I'm like, listen, I studied fashion marketing. My
Yeah.
dissertation did so well, alhamdulillah, say that
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
we saw it happen in real life with the fashion brand. So I already know that my university degree has equipped me with the skills that I need to further my content and go into, for example, the GCC.
Okay.
Anyone who comes into this field, and if you want to do it as a full-time thing, it's going to be tough in the start. I'm not
Yeah.
going to like sugarcoat and be like, nahi, you're going to make money from the 1st day. You really need to be committed. But I also tell people like, be viable. If you already have a full-time job, at least start with this on a part-time thing.
Okay.
See if it takes off for you. Because you don't want to like leave a job and just sit at home and try to make money. You'll
Yeah.
only like regret it that why did I leave my job? I just believe that there is a bit of like a luck element in this, because
Okay.
you don't know which video is going to do well.
Yeah.
We don't have that knowledge. We can just create and put it over there. All we can control is how we're being perceived and how we're making our content value, like how we can add value. So essentially those pointers could just be added in and you could use it.
Oh, great. Thank you. So before we wrap up, is there anything else that you want people to know about? Because this is called Dream Job Diaries.
Yeah.
Someone's dream job is to be a content creator, and for them, you're living their dream in whatever sense that might be.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you want like people to know more about you or more about the field? Just like,
I
go
think
ahead.
with me, I believe content creation and going into this field was a bit of manifestation, because I just
Yeah.
grew up watching a lot of beauty YouTubers
Yeah.
and like watching all their like PR unboxings. And I was like, oh my God, there's even this world in LA where, these girls are just paid to show up and paid to speak and yap and do all these things. So I believe like, if you want to really start content and be in this field, consistency is key. Having a positive mindset, as cliche as it sounds, will really help you on the low days. If
Okay.
you're getting bad comments, if your videos aren't performing well, like you need to just remember why you started. Like till date, I have imposter syndrome. Sometimes I'm even like, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
this is not working or this is working. Like, how can we fix it? So it's always going to be about balancing everything. For
Yeah.
me, like, I don't have a set time when I work. I have a campaign today, I have a campaign tomorrow. So my world revolves around my short-term campaigns. But then for me, I get really flustered that why am I only focusing on my paid campaigns? My organic content is suffering. So I
Yeah.
think just that own personal reassurity is really important in whatever field you're in. Starting content is not going to be easy, but if you're passionate about it, you truly need to sit with yourself. Are you doing this for fame? Are you doing this for money?
Exactly.
What are you doing this for? And be honest with yourself. Like, there's no harm in having a conversation. I want to do it for fame. I'll do it for fame. Like,
Yeah, makes sense.
like it's Hannah Montana. Like, again, so
Yeah.
many references from when we grew up. Sometimes we limit ourselves by our own thinking. So I
Yeah.
think it's kind of getting over that first step, getting through the door. And once you just like post it, like shut your eyes and just press post is what I
Yeah.
believe. And overall with that, I think this series, the Dream Job series, is so important because there can be so many people who are not even younger than me, probably elder. They just want to start content. They want to get their story
Yeah.
out there. And I say that everyone is unique. Everyone can add value in one way or the other, you don't know how many people you can actually impact. It's not
Correct.
about the followers at the end of the day. It's about how you feel. So if you think content and like being in front of the camera and doing this is for you, try it out. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't
Yeah.
work out. You can always pivot.
That's true. All right. So, Ayla, if let's say you came across Career Crossroads 5 years ago
Yeah.
when you were starting out, how do you think that would be helpful? And would it be something that you would like, want to click and like book an appointment?
Honestly, for me, if you guys had like a content creator, like when I was starting out,
Yeah.
I would immediately click sign me up, because when you're starting any job, like it's just like education, right? Like you pick up the first chapter in order to get to understand the foundation of anything you're doing.
Yeah.
Similarly, when I started content, yes, it was fun for the first couple of months, but by the first year, I needed help. Like I needed someone to tell me, am I charging the right amount?
Yeah.
How do I go about people being really rude? How do I go about keeping it professional while also standing up for myself? So if I came across you guys, I would have definitely clicked. And I hope you guys watching click so you guys can also get to
Thank
know
you.
how to go about this.
All right. Thank you so much for being here and being so candid. We loved having you. And
Thank
I'm
you
sure
for having me.
Of course. And I'm sure everyone who's gonna watch is gonna love it.
Inshallah.
And then inshallah we'd love to like collaborate more, talk more, do
Done.
more podcasts and
Done.
like talk about dream jobs other than this. Or
Thank
anything
you guys
else.
for having me. I think what you're doing with the podcast and with Career Crossroads is something that is really important in this day and age.
Yeah.
Because when we hear about like career counseling, we don't necessarily see people in those fields really helping,
Yeah.
mentoring, and guiding. So I think this is the first of its kind in Pakistan, inshallah, and
yes,
it's going
I
to do
think so.
really, really well. And you guys have such great people on board. So I'm
Alright.
really excited to see what
Thank
you do.
you. Thank you so much.